A mysterious Chinese company that no one has ever heard of is about to make a video game system as powerful as the PlayStation 4 Pro.
And we know who they are.
Yes, we do.
Hot take!
Now, before this video begins, we really need to stress that everybody watches this until the end because we've got some pretty crazy stuff to talk about.
Oh, we got surprises.
Yes, we do. Now, let's get into the actual hardware of this elusive console. So, let's begin.
Yeah, so not a heck of a lot has been announced about this hardware. We don't know about its name per se, but we do know who is making this.
Yes.
So AMD is kind of partnering with a Chinese company called Zhongshan Subor. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This hardware is supposed to be on par with the PS4 Pro, but also maybe slightly better as far as what it's capable of doing with the games themselves. So it has the same memory as a PS4 Pro with a larger bandwidth. The CPU is going to be a bit more powerful, as is the GPU. It has a more modern GPU in it than the PS4 Pro.
That's very true. Now, a lot of the stuff we've heard about this so far has come in from Digital Foundry, and if you guys have never seen Digital Foundry, an amazing YouTube channel.
Doing?
Yeah, they have like some of the best hardware walkthroughs, and they do really cool frame rate analysis for videos. I actively recommend that you guys check out their videos while they talk about this. However, the problem is that everyone has been talking about this, and a lot of people aren't taking it seriously, but we want to make sure that you understand that this is an actual real company, and they are a very serious company. Partnering with AMD is an expensive proposition, and there is a huge gaming market in China that is growing, and eventually, if they keep doing things the right way, you might see a surpassing of North American game design to China because you have such huge companies over there, including companies like Tencent. Yeah, Tencent's a massive company. They have their hands in a bunch of games.
Bigger than most people know. Like, they are absolutely enormous, and they are just buying up everything gaming left and right, it seems. Right?
Yeah, they are a really massive company. The only problem that exists with making a console like this is that Sony has put in this huge marketing platform to get gamers in a whole bunch of different regions. And if a Chinese video game console focuses solely within China, it will have a struggle to actually grow outside of that market.
Yeah.
North American game developers and stuff, you know, they might not want to make games for that platform because they're making them for the PlayStation 4, might see a better audience there.
But within that market, though, within that Chinese market, the population is huge, right?
Yes.
And gaming is enormous over there. So even if they didn't spread out into other regions per se, there's still a lot of money to be had within China because there's a lot of people playing video games.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So when we talk about this console, we honestly think there's a chance that it can be successful. Now, the biggest things that work against it is, one, they're coming out of the market from seemingly nowhere. They are coming out at a time without announcing any games, which is kind of weird.
Right.
Typically, you see a company announce some games along with it, and there doesn't seem to be any developers on board, which is going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, so it gets me thinking, like, okay, they're labeling this a game console, but is this just a mini PC tower? Like, what are we going to see coming to this thing? Is there going to be third-party support from other companies, or is this going to be like, no, this is China's own thing, and it's just Chinese developers developing for this?
You just don't know enough yet, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard for us to really quantify that stuff, but here's the thing, okay? Now, here's the part.
Are we doing things?
We're doing things.
Are we doing
now,
things?
Now, we decided to take a closer look at this company because I'm curious. A company working with AMD to make something like this means that they must have some kind of infrastructure. And folks, believe it or not, we're going to break this story for you. Now, let's begin. Number one, this company has been referred to by everybody as...
It's Zhongshan Subor, which is part of the name.
Yes. Their full name is Zhongshan Subor. Zhongshan Subor Education Electronic Company Limited. Now,
why is this important, Shane?
I looked up the company because the name seemed a little familiar to me, but I didn't know why.
And then suddenly you saw these two boxing gloves.
Yes, I saw a logo. Now, the logo we're going to pop up right here. I've seen this logo before.
Oh, but where?
Now, you may know that we do a series on our regular Rerez channel called the Worst Console Ever series, where we like to take a look at a lot of really bad video game systems. Well, folks, let me show you something they made. Here's one of their consoles.
This is Zhongshan Subor.
Yes, it is.
And their symbol.
We just happen to have this in the office because I've actually looked at this system. Now, what most people don't realize is this company is actually a pretty big company. Now, right now, you're going to be seeing some footage that's going to be showing up. This footage is actually from their official website, and what they do is they are a huge consumer manufacturer. They make radios, they make MP3 players.
You name the electronics, that they do it, basically.
Yes, but here's the thing. From what I can tell, none of their electronics and manufactured devices are really original. They seem to be copycats of other things. This is an NES or Famicom clone, okay? So what this actually is a Famicom system. It's got pretty much the same components, although it's been miniaturized, and maybe it's system on a chip type technology, which is what we're apparently getting with this too. But this is a knockoff system, and there's actual games bundled in here that are illegal, and they are stolen from other manufacturers. But it gets even better, because one of our friends that exists, we didn't even know this, we have 2 of their devices. This is called the Multi-K 230-in-1, and there are a bunch of terrible games on here. It's a little mini arcade system. Now, this thing here was given to us by Uleif, who is one of our huge community members on Discord.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you,
Yeah.
and also I hate you.
we met him at Too Many Games, and while we were there at the convention, he gave us this as a gift, and I didn't even realize, but when I was looking at their website, I noticed, and on the bottom, the company's name is there.
Yeah, Zhongshan Subor.
Yes. Now, folks, what we're basically trying to tell you is this company exists, and they do make manufactured products. But the fun part of all this is that they seem to keep ripping things off from people. There's a PSP that they make, which we saw some footage of.
That's right. There's dance pad games.
There's Wii knockoff.
Yeah, it just, the list goes on and on. I don't know if the Wireless 60, the red shotgun.
Well, the original wireless system. Yeah.
Yeah. So this company goes way back as far as making video game electronics that are just like Subor subpar.
Yes. Now, here's an interesting thing you need to know about this. Now, when the Famicom came out originally, there were knockoff consoles that were made in multiple different regions. In Russia, we refer to the Dendy system as the knockoff system there, and Dendy was a kind of a popular brand. You may know a couple YouTubers that have looked at Dendy systems in the past, but in other regions, this was the company that made the knockoff for China. This is who they are. They're not some big, okay, when I say they're not some big massive company, we actually found a website where they have a company introduction to actually do things with people.
Can I?
Please.
Okay. We strongly focus on R&D. Give us your specifications for electronic learning games, and our team of 40 engineers will have the software written, interface laid out, and case designed in the short span of 20 hours.
That means they're willing to make a video game system or a computer for you.
Not a video game.
Yeah, not a video game. An entire platform, case, system, OS, all that stuff in 40 hours.
No! 20 hours.
Sorry, 20 hours.
I'm
half
sorry,
that time.
not even a day. They say that's 10 times faster than any of their competition.
I would bet. Now, what's really crazy is we found all the company stats too. So they've got a total staff of about 350 to 399 people working on the assembly lines, of which they have 6 or so.
Yeah.
Right?
And then they have 30 to 39 R&D staff.
So that's research and development.
20 to 29 engineers.
That's correct.
And total annual sales of about 10 to 15 million US.
Yes. Now that is a massive. Now remember, what we've seen here is not fact checked. This is just what they have listed on websites.
Right. Yeah. This is the official company introduction from one of their websites in which they're trying to get business. They want people. They want to design things for people.
But this
poorly apparently.
This is actually what they produce. This is the kind of stuff they make. So we were thinking, why would they be working with AMD? Now, they do have the money to do it. We know that much because they do have the money. They've got the staff. They've got the production facilities. They do have the ability to work with AMD and make a new system. But that's when we started to think about this a little bit more. Now, folks, if you were to make a system that seemingly is really close to what a PlayStation is, what if they're just trying to make a clone version of the PlayStation 4 system?
See, I wouldn't put it past them. Jumping to that conclusion seems completely, completely safe because everything that we've seen from them, all of the video game products have been ripoffs.
That's
Famicom,
true.
Like almost everything, even if it looks like a PSP, they just play Famicom games. So are they graduating to finally ripping off consoles that are of the same ilk as they're pretending to be?
Here's the thing. Even if they weren't, okay, let's say they were actually going to make a brand new system themselves, their background and their history as scam artists and thieves in the video game industry would basically make any game developer scared of working with them, except for the ones that exist in China who are trying to find some kind of local outlet for their games to exist in. I mean, there's nothing but lies on this thing. When you look at this cover here, you'll see the Famicom, right? And it is a Famicom system, but over on the television here that you see, well, what game is that?
That is Contra.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which Contra, though?
That is that Hardcore?
Yeah. That's a Genesis game. It's not on here.
And it's not just software either, people. If you break this thing open and you start using just the game controller or feeling the system itself, we're talking like not low budget. We're talking no budget. These are like crappy pieces of plastic that you'd find at like a dollar store or something.
We don't even we want to make a video on this, but we seriously had no way to figure out how to do it because it was just so low quality. So when I'm talking about this company and the things they've produced in the past, yes, they can produce things in 20 hours, but that doesn't mean those things are going to be good.
Right.
And as far as I can tell, this seems to be a gambit to basically make a thievery version of the PlayStation, because why would they be getting so close to the original PlayStation specs if it wasn't to do something like this with it?
Yeah, exactly. There's no other way. Like, that's exactly why it seems like this news has come out, was just to say, like, hey, this is just as good as a PS4 Pro. And then, yeah, what's going to come of this?
Right? I mean,
especially launching a system that's like near the Xbox One X or PS4 Pro, their capabilities so close to the end of those console life cycles, right?
Yeah,
and not offering some sort of new way to play, as far as we know. The Switch came out, and it's not as powerful as the bigger boys, but you can carry the system around with you. There's that, that out of the house gameplay there. This is another box doing exactly what the boxes we have now can do, maybe slightly better, but...
It's true. And let's make this clear, too. Just because they're a Chinese company doesn't mean we discredit them for that, right? It's not that. There are plenty of Chinese companies out there that manufacture amazing hardware and technology.
The thing is, I love using this saying, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
We got plenty of pudding in this office. We kept finding stuff made by this company.
Yeah.
Like, we went into our storage room, we're like, they made this. They also made this, and not a single thing was worthwhile. All of these things were either already made into worst console episodes, or they're like in the running.
Yes,
to
right.
Be a worst dude, we're gonna get the most powerful worst console ever, possibly in the future.
But see,
I'm excited for this now.
This hardware makes me worried because what price are they going to be pricing it at?
Yeah.
If they do get games on there, if they do get games, they're going to be stolen assets, right? Like, I mean, it's what we've seen so far from them.
Okay, like trying to side with them, could this be them? Could this be the supervillain finally going legit? Could this be Lex Luthor?
Let's be fair.
Kind of like, okay, no, I'm going cool.
Okay, hands down. Let's be fair, okay?
I'm going cool.
From what we could tell from their website and from the videos we've seen and everything they've shown on there, they are still producing tons of products. In fact, this website that we found this company introduction on, it's a website for multiple companies to introduce themselves to hardware designers, just to say, hey, we'll make your thing really quick for you. And look, I've actually been in this field a little bit now, having been in the running for producing a controller. I understand what these companies are. Some of them are really good, but when they make products like this, we couldn't tell you exactly why they've made something like this because we don't know exactly who it appeals to outside of the Chinese market. Now, what's interesting about this, okay, what we're seeing here is if they were to actually buckle down and focus on making a really good system for the Chinese market that has a bunch of really cool Chinese developers making games that are unique that no one's ever seen before, there is a really good chance that they're going to see some success. But this is all built off the proposition that they don't steal things, which they've already established.
Yeah, all we've seen is an established resume of just knockoffs, right? So I don't have any high expectations for this at all, no matter what the news is telling us.
And this company, by the way, isn't a new company. This isn't like Famicoms that were made in like the past couple of years. I mean, this one specifically is, but they actually have been around since 1987. They're a really old company that have been making games almost as long as Nintendo.
And rice cookers.
Yeah, rice
and
cookers
flashlights.
And flashlights.
And they're all Famicom compatible, apparently. Everything plays Famicom games and Genesis games.
It's insane. Now, all we're trying to say here is that a lot of other people have been talking about the system so far. We've seen them, but nobody actually knew where this group came from.
Or maybe they did know and they just didn't want to talk about it. But we haven't seen anyone talking about this company.
It's true. We just happen to have that experience. We've seen their products and we've used them.
Plenty of experience. And maybe we'll be experiencing something very different from them in the near future. I doubt it.
I mean, look, folks, what do you think? Do you think that this company actually has the ability to make something cool and amazing that stands out? Or by its necessity of it trying to be a ripoff of the PlayStation 4, do you think that it simply doesn't have a chance? Let us know.